The 2023 Major League Baseball Winter Meetings, they are over, and it wasn't an eventful 3 days for the New York Mets. Little happened for the Amazins in Nashville, but we are going to discuss what the Metropolitans did and didn't do during the meetings, as well as what might be to come this offseason. We're going to do it with the host of the Bleav In Mets podcast, my guy Nicholas Durst, who joins me now. Nick, what's going on?
Hey, Dexter, how's it going? I'm definitely doing well. I'm doing a lot better than the Mets, that's for sure, and it's an honor and privilege to be joining you here.
Oh, man, glad to have you here, and I know Mets fans, they're anxious. They wanted to see more happen during the winter meetings like last year, but it didn't happen this year, right? So, Nick, the Mets, they didn't make a major signing while in Nashville. They left town with two minor deals. The team signed reliever Michael Tonkin to a $1 million one-year contract while also inking shortstop Jose Iglesias to a minor league deal. What did you make of those moves?
Well, the thing with Tonkin is I'd be shocked if he actually ends up completing the season with the Mets. To me, this is a typical Mets signing dating back years. They tried it the last 3 years with Tommy Hunter. They brought him in. Tommy Hunter, he ends up getting a huge ERA in the 4s, the 5s, the 6s, and they just keep trying and trying. Tonkin, last year, he was in the 4s with his ERA, career ERA of 4.38. The Mets last season, 4.30, team ERA, 19th in the majors. So I don't know if this is going to be a move that it certainly improves the team. We'll say you got to hope for the best. The Mets, to keep preaching this, will take these low risk, high reward guys. So maybe it turns out Iglesias, I think, is a tremendous shortstop. He's very good defensively, but I don't know if he's going to end up making this team. It's a minor league deal. Last year, he signed about 4 minor league deals with the San Diego Padres. They never called him up, so he kept opting out. I would imagine he would do the same. Not much space here for a guy like Iglesias on the major league roster. You saw the Mets get rid of Luis Guillorme. They didn't bring him back, and now they signed Joey Wendell, who has a major league deal. He's probably going to be the primary backup at shortstop, second and third base. And Francisco Lindor, he plays every day. So not much room for another shortstop on the roster.
Not much room there indeed at all. And those are minor deals. We want to talk about potential big deals. Team owner Steve Cohen reportedly flew to Japan recently to meet Yoshinobu Yamamoto. If the Mets aren't able to land the Japanese starting pitcher, which other pitchers should they shift their attention to?
Well, Dexter, I don't know what they're going to be able to do as far as the market is concerned. It seems like a lot of these pitchers are going to sign beforehand. Rodriguez signed. Blake Snell, he's probably going to be the next guy to look at. And I don't know if the Mets are going to be willing to go and give him that 8-year deal he's looking for. Montgomery is highly suited as well for a lot of teams. I think the Mets would have to trade with their prospects to get some good pitchers here. The Mets acquired a ton of prospects at the deadline last year. A lot of shortstops, 4 shortstops. They already had Jet Williams as well. They have Mauricio. So a lot of clogged up middle infield depth there. Why not make a trade? Why not call up some of these teams that are going to be looking to move some starters? Tyler Glasnow right now, the Rays are going to look to move him because they're not going to be able to afford him. They got to trim payroll. Maybe the Mets, David Stearns, he said they don't want to trade the top-end prospects. Well, maybe they don't have to in that scenario for a one-year rental because you could just take the money and the Rays will be happy with that. I would look to also at the Guardians. The Mets have a history of trading with the Guardians. Shane Bieber could be on the move. Dylan Cease, we hear, is going to be moved from the White Sox. And how about Corbin Burns? Corbin Burns, he's definitely not going to be a Brewer after this season. So maybe David Stearns, with his ties to the organization, he knows maybe some other prospects could be involved in the deal and they can get the deal done. But you do have to worry there if there's any sour grapes between the Brewers and David Stearns, which would prevent the deal between the two teams.
That is something to definitely consider. And you mentioned a great thing there about the Mets. Possibly if they can't hit on the free agent market, they can also look at the trade market. So, Nick, there's still some remaining needs for the Mets, including starting pitching, which you just mentioned, another outfielder / designated hitter, and then also bullpen arms. Which of those 3 should be the priority through the rest of this offseason for the New York Mets?
Well, Dexter, I think it's got to be offense. This team last year, 18th in OPS, 25th in batting average, 20th in runs scored, 19 in runs batted in, and most of that's from 2 players with Lindor and Alonso carrying the way. Look back to 2022. They no-showed against the Braves at the end of the season. They no-showed offensively against the Padres in the playoffs. This is a team that I think needs to target somebody offensively here and get some juice in the lineup. You can't be banking on Marte to come back and have a great year again after an injury year. You can't say the prospects like Drew Gilbert and Acuna are going to come in May and carry this team offensively. It didn't work out last year with Brett Beatty coming up and Mark Vientos offensively. So there's a lot of question marks here for me in this lineup outside of Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, Francisco Lindor, and Pete Alonso. We need to surround this team with some offensive infusion. There's some great players out there that maybe they could target on one-year deals, make a Rice Hoskins. I think he'd be great. Put him at the DH spot. He could be the backup first baseman as well. Plug him in there for 30 home runs. This team needs more power. I think they need to look at all options to improve the offense this offseason.
All right, there you go. Improve the offense. You're hearing it there from Nicholas Durst, the host of the Bleav In Mets podcast. Nick, still a lot more time to go in the offseason for the Mets. We will see what they will do going forward. Appreciate the time, man. We'll do this again soon.
Absolutely. Let's go Mets.